We have the honor and privilege to have Dr. Vassal with us this evening. I'm super excited. Yes, indeed. So if you can, please have your screens turned on out of respect for her, participate as needed, and Dr. Vassal, take it away.
Okay, the super exciting topic of TEP. So as we look at this chart here, it's going to take you year by year. So what is it sharing? Hold on. How long have I been doing this? Okay, correct screen. Okay, can you see my screen okay? Yes, it was working. So you need TEP because that's your official entry into the teacher ed program. It's a screening process every education major has to do. So like people who want to be phys ed teachers go through this, people who want to be art ed, music ed, elementary ed. It's a standard application. You end up applying to the College of Ed. You do something special for the music ed department, and then we interview you and ask you questions about it. And it's just kind of a screening process that you go through. If your admittance into TEP gives you access to the 300 level courses, which are the ones you usually take your junior year. So it's important to be on track with this because not getting into it on time can delay your graduation by a semester or a year. You need TEP to be student teaching. You have to be in TEP to get your music ed degree. It's an education requirement. Something new that the university is offering is a preparation program. So part of the application process is passing a praxis exam. This is like a standardized test on math, reading, and writing. There's an essay portion. And I know a few people who are enrolled in it right now this semester. So I guess it's a little bit late for you, but they may be offering it every semester. So I'd check that website and just see if you can do it asynchronous or if you can take it in the fall. It might be a good idea. I'm a terrible standardized test taker. I did horrible on my SATs, even though I was a straight A student. So I know some people just don't do well on standardized tests. So if you are that person, you might want to consider accessing these resources here. If you do the course, they told me you should get a coupon for $50 off the exam. And I think the exam's about $150, so that's about a third off. So that could be well worth it. At some point this year, so this semester, if you can, or over the summer, take the Praxis Core exam. You want to do the combined test because it costs more money if you try to do each one separately. They just put them all together, and they're allowing testing at home right now, so you can do it from the comfort of your house. I think you just have to block off time. Did you take it at home, Caitlin?
I did. It was through ProctorU. So if any of you are familiar with that software, it was super easy. And yeah, you could take the break, not take the break. It was super convenient.
How long did it take you?
If I remember correctly, I think they give you, it's either 3 or 4 hours to take it. They give you a 15-minute break. I chose not to take it. And so I finished 2.5 hours, I think.
Okay. So I would definitely say, talk to Caitlin if you want more information on it. If you're confused at all with the registration, since she literally just went through it, she will be a good resource for you. This is all linked in here for you if you want to check out the Praxis website. Something else to keep an eye on, you need to maintain that 2.75 GPA. This gets real tricky. We actually had a student who was supposed to student teach in the fall, and because of COVID, his grades had slipped in the spring of 2020, and I think he fell to like a 2.6, and he had to wait a whole semester to student teach. And we found out like 2 weeks before. So you don't want that to happen to you. Just always keep an eye. Know that sometimes withdrawing from a class is a better option than just getting a failing grade because a W doesn't affect your GPA. So you just want to be aware of that. If you Google undergraduate school dates, it should tell you like the last day to drop a class to get a full refund. So thinking about that every semester, if you know that you're taking like a core class that you're not sure you're actually going to do well in, you just want to know all of your options there. Are any of you enrolled in any of these classes Did you meet with your advisor yet for planning for fall? Is that coming? Gavin's nodding his head. So these are classes you should be thinking about taking for your sophomore year. There's another option to take Music 260 with me if you're really interested in elementary music, but you can also take that class your junior year. I actually had the course number changed just to make it an option for sophomores if they had room in their schedule to take it earlier. Um, so that's something to think about. At some point this semester, if you know you're applying next year for TEP, you want to email Christopher Reese this information. He has to set up an account for you. We've been having lots of problems every semester with people like, I can't get into the application. It's because Mr. Reese doesn't know you exist. So he has to actually manually put you in. So at some point this semester, if you want to send it to that email address, it'll just be ready and then it won't be a problem for you. Last, if you've got some time on your hands this summer, it never hurts to start looking through the applications just to see what you need. It's not required, but I think it could be helpful. Um, Caitlin, when did you get started? Because you turned everything in early.
I started the application kind of this past summer, especially that Dyslexia Toolkit, which I guess you'll talk about in a little bit. But then I did the bulk of the work over winter break of that first semester in the fall.
Excellent. So I'll pause right now. Are there any questions right now about the things to think about right now this semester? Okay, pretty clear. All right, so you're in your sophomore year in the fall next year. You're in these classes. You want to make sure you're getting a C or better. So at the point that you complete 45 credit hours, you're eligible to apply for TEP. So occasionally we have students who transfer in a lot of credits from high school, and sometimes they're ready in the fall. They've got the 45 credits. You can absolutely do it in the fall if you want. Most people, however, are going to apply for TEP the spring semester of their sophomore year. So you're kind of wrapping up the 45 hours by the time you hit this coming December. So it happens real quick. It's usually like second week of classes, we start going. So you don't want to fall behind. Gavin, you raised your hand.
Is there any benefit to applying for TEP in the fall versus in the spring?
It's the exact same process.
Okay.
I guess I'd say the only thing, like if you submit your documents and you do poorly on the interview, we might ask you to re-interview. And sometimes we do that within the same semester, or if we do the interviews late, we might ask you to re-interview in January, and that would give you a little flexibility. But keep in mind that when you apply, you have to have those praxis scores in hand. They have to be done. We keep running into a problem where they're applying and they're not done yet, and then surprise, surprise, they keep not passing, and then we lose track of them, and they kind of get lost into the shuffle. And I don't want to lose track of you. Like, just get the praxis done. That seems to be the biggest hurdle for everybody, just so we're not waiting on it, because you will not get accepted into TEP until the praxis scores are in. And so you're sitting there as a junior, you're like, man, I still haven't passed the writing section, and I still can't register for 300 level just because of that one dumb test. So knock that out as early as you can. But yeah, Gavin, you're just fine if you apply January, February. So you submit 2 applications. The first one is College of Ed. So when you click on this link, it takes you here, and this is the UK Ed Prep system that Mr. Reese needs to have your information. Caitlin, this is the first year we used it. How was the process for you? Was it just clicking through each page you uploaded?
Yes, it was super easy to use. I actually did it on paper, and then I found out like 2 weeks before I actually applied that it went digital, and it's literally the exact same thing as the paper. So it was just a matter of putting it online, but it was super easy to use.
I'm going to put you on the spot if that's okay. Do you remember some
Sure.
bits of that application? Because I can't go in without like showing someone's actual application. There's not a
Right.
video one.
So it just kind of asks about like your limitations, any criminal history. Hopefully that doesn't apply to you. I'm trying to think what else. It asks for your recommenders, like you'll put in their email and it'll send them an email to get access to the portal so that they can write about you. What else? Oh, where you went to high school, just really basic stuff. Not a lot of like thought provoking things, just basic info about yourself. And then blank blue. I'm like, yeah, I think that's about it. I can't really remember, but the biggest part of it is making sure you put your recommenders emails in so they get access to the portal ahead of time, because you don't want to do it like the week of that the applications due and that they don't have time and you're sitting there without a recommendation letter.
Yeah, and the only important thing to remember there is that at least one of your recommenders should be a current professor in UK School of Music. So it could be your studio teacher, it could be one of the music ed faculty. The other recommenders could be like a high school teacher, or if you hold a job somewhere, it might be your supervisor or manager at the job. And basically, they're speaking to different qualities. So your ability to interact with students, are you dependable? Do you have motivation? Are you creative? Are you collaborative? And there's a little box in there for the recommenders that they can look at these qualities and rank you on it and then write you an official letter. So yes, you want to get those requests in earlier so they have time to write you a good letter. There's a fee as well. Were you able to pay online?
Yes, you can pay online.
How much was it? Like $30?
$30, yeah.
Okay. Whew, money, money, money. That's the College of Ed part. The music ed part is a portfolio that's emailed to me in a single PDF. You put everything in there, and there's a few components to it. So if you click on here, here's the guidelines. This you can get started on anytime. You can work on it this summer if you want, and I recommend getting started early because there's a few parts to it. There's a resume, a cover letter, an essay, and then there's this Dyslexia Toolkit. It's a new graduation requirement, and I thought I'll just help you get it done with by putting it in the TEP application, so then you don't have to worry about it later. This took me, I took it myself. It took me 30 to 40 minutes. How about you, Caitlin? How long did it take you?
Oh yeah, about 30 minutes.
It's one of those self-paced courses, and they just like read the slide to you and you answer a few questions. And then you get a certificate like this. And I'll fully open it because I messed up my organization in the preview. There we go, that's better. All right, so your resume can be any kind of formatting you want, just don't make it longer than 2 pages. What kind of things do you think you'll need to include on a resume? This is an open question for y'all, so you can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I'm making you participate. What kind of things do you put on a CV or resume? Where's the chat? Yeah, so you can like list the ensembles you're in, if you have any job experience. If you've done anything with teaching music, that's really important. We love to see that. So if you help with marching band in the summer, or if you give private piano lessons, we love to see stuff like that because that speaks to your teaching ability. If you don't have any experience teaching kids, that's okay. I think I barely had any when I was a music ed major, and that just becomes a point of conversation, and we suggest things for you to help you grow. Work experience, yeah. Any kind of awards that you've gotten is good too. If you do any organizations, like do any of you get involved with Phi Mu Alpha or SAI? Lauren's nodding. Are you doing Sigma Alpha Iota?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a sister too. Gavin, are you doing Phi Mu Alpha?
No.
I'm doing Kappa Kappa Psi.
Kappa Kappa. Yeah, that's another. Yeah. So put all that stuff in there. Good. Okay. Okay. Next, you have a cover letter, just 1 page. And we want to know, why do you want to be a music teacher? And then give us some short-term goals and some long-term goals. So you might say like, okay, I'm a sophomore. This year I'm taking woodwind methods. I'm doing real terrible on the clarinet. I know I just want to get better at that just in case. Or, I'm taking string pedagogy. Man, viola is really rough for me, so I'm going to make sure I ask a friend who plays viola to help me out. Long-term goals could be, you can share where you see yourself in 5 years, or it might be, I would just like to graduate and get a job so I can have some money, and it can be as general as that. So think through those things. We're looking for those 3 things in the cover letter. Why do you want to be a teacher? Some short-term goals, some long-term goals. This one has some specific formatting, and that goes for basically the rest of the document. The only thing that you get complete control is the resume. This is important because when you're applying for jobs, you're going to have to be real careful reading directions, getting formatting, all the dumb nitpicky stuff, because you want to make a best impression on employers. And this is a bit of practice for you as you apply to TEP. So I'm looking for it, and I got eagle eyes, so there's no escaping me, okay? All right, the essay probably takes the longest. I actually made a tutorial because I've been learning that not everyone's real familiar with the UKY libraries. So if you click on it, you get a nice little screen share, and I walk you through where to look for things. And we're asking you to look within 2 quality journals that we know it's not going to be too hard for you to read, but it also has really important information for music ed.
Hello everyone, this tutorial shows you how to search for an article.
Okay, so we don't need to listen to me talk. We want you to look for an article that's within the past 10 years, something recent. I don't want you pulling up something from 1960. And we're looking at either the Teaching Music Journal or the Music Educators Journal. And choose a topic. So in the past, some people have chosen students with disabilities. Some people have chosen gender discrimination in music ed. Some people have talked about racial discrimination in music ed. Others have picked articles about intonation problems with beginner bands, the changing voice for boys who are singing like in middle school. So it's basically open topic, whatever you are personally interested in. We would love to hear it. So you got your essay, right? It's in the past 10 years. It's from one of the 2 journals. Now you write your essay, and we scaffolded it out for you. So it's going to be, about 2 to 3 pages, probably 3 pages, all double spaced. Paragraph 1, you just summarize the points that the author makes. And then the most of this essay is what you think about what the author wrote. So if they made 4 points about beginner band, you're going to write a paragraph per point. Do you agree, disagree, why or why not? So it should be kind of fun to write because you're talking about what you think for the most of this essay. Once you're done, you give a little summary. In some, I agree with 3 out of 4 points, da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's the end. It's not going to be real long. Please don't go over 3 pages because we usually get about 20 applicants and it's a lot to read, so please be nice to us and don't make it too long. And again, it follows the exact same formatting as the cover letter. Any questions on that bit? Okay, looking good. All right, and then the last thing is just to do the Dyslexia Toolkit. And you take a screenshot of your certificate and just drag it into the document. Then you want to save the whole thing as a single PDF. And the reason I asked that is because I put everything into a folder for the committee to access. So when we go in for the interview, it's going to be me and like 3 other music ed professors, or we might have some K-12 teachers, and they're going to be looking through all your stuff. So it's much easier for everyone to read through 20 applications if we just have 1 PDF per person. Just makes life a little bit easier. That's the music ed side, so that also can be pretty much done at any time. So the summer, over winter break, when you're not worried about a million different things, would probably be the best way to do it. Okay, once those are in, and I'll be sending out emails reminding you of deadlines. Again, next year it's going to be late January, early February when these things are due. Once everything's in, we're like, okay, nothing's missing. I invite you to sign up for an interview time. And the interview is with me. And then usually I'll ask like Dr. Hetzel or Professor Wilson or Dr. Hudson, Professor Kearns to come in, and we just ask you questions. And it's real short. It's only 7 minutes. So we usually get 3 to 4 questions in there. And part of it is like, can you keep your cool while answering questions? It's kind of a conversation. And yeah, we rarely have people not pass the interview. Sometimes we have people who get real nervous and they stiffen up, and then we just give them a chance to interview again. And that is everything. And I just put some frequently asked questions here. So, any other questions for me? No. My computer's about to die, so let me walk into my other room where my plug is. But I'm gonna put a virtual background so you don't get a tour of my house, which will make you kind of dizzy. How about I put some Tiger King? There we go. That's a flashback to last year, right?
I don't know what you mean. Tiger King is timeless.
This time.
While she's doing that, you guys, I made this timeline actually for myself a year ago, basically to pace myself of doing the application. I did it by month, but I kind of edited it for your all's sake. If you'd like to use it, it's also a live document, so you can just click on it and add it to your drive. If you want to keep it, you obviously can change it or what have you, make your own, but that really helped me get it organized, because during the semester this is when you fully get immersed into your major and take some major specific classes. And so when this comes around, it kind of seems like it's a lot on you at once if you don't do things ahead of time and stay proactive about it. So I hope this document helps. But do we have any questions about the TEP process at all?
Okay. You can email me anytime. I'm usually a little quick. I've been a little slower this year, thanks COVID. It's just making my brain fuzzy. But don't ever hesitate. I'm real friendly. Most of you know that, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Can we give a round of applause to Caitlin for organizing this? Slow clap from Colin. Golf clap from Gavin. Thank you for inviting me, Caitlin, and thank you for organizing this. You're being such a great advocate for your peers.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. My biggest piece of advice for you all is take the praxis now. Henceforth and forevermore, get it on a t-shirt, write it across your forehead, take it now, take it now, take it now. If you have any questions about the praxis at all, you are more than welcome to ask me. It seems really daunting, and it's literally like a watered version of the ACT. Is how I could best describe it. If you have any questions, you can ask me or Dr. Bassel or anything like that. But if no one else has any questions, you are free to go. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Dr. Bassel, again. I hope this helped. Have a great night, everyone.